Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its continuing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before.
Captain's log, stardate 2013-09.25. So, well, what's going on? Like, we had this little Ferengi, and he's sitting on this photon at the edge of space, right? And he's still there, but I guess he just have to wait for whatever solution we come up with for him. Like, I don't wanna leave him there, you know. He definitely deserves some kind of closure, you know, after having traveled such a long distance. Only to encounter a fast food restaurant, you know, it's not a cool situation for him. So, but we've been far around, you know. But where to go next? And you know, I'm currently visiting my mother, and you know, I was about to say she has a heart of gold, but I would rather say she has a heart of love, because gold is so you know, cold. Leave that to the banksters. You know, she had kind of a rough life. Many things happened to this woman, but she somehow made it through, and she's been kind of an angel to many people. And she's been listening to me, you know, babbling about all this stuff, and she said to me, you know, this is all very well and nice, but you really need to go into detail about how this utopia of yours is gonna work, you know. It seems like nobody has to do anything, or just partying all the time, and everything is just automated. And I thought I could go into some details about that, just to clarify. So, well, one thing she said was like, what about garbage? And you know, who's gonna vacuum clean? Like, who's gonna do all the crazy jobs? You know, the things you don't want to do. Like, who are those guys? And you know, we have those little vacuum cleaners that's running around, driving around on your floor, tiny robots, and you have those out in the garden as well. You know, cutting the grass automated. But it's so primitive still, you know. It's like a little miniaturized car or something with a lawnmower under it, or a vacuum cleaner inside it. And I'm thinking on a totally different plane where we need to go. I don't know if you've seen the movie Minority Report. He's being chased at some point by spiders. They're like they have 3 legs and they're just able to go everywhere and inside every little corner. And why not have spiders just tripping around, taking up the garbage and the dust and every little finding stuff around your house. They're gonna find the keys and all the little knickknacks that you misplace. Yeah, that reminds me of the movie Avatar, and I have a big problem with that movie. You know, like it's so beautiful. It's so precious. You know, the colors and just the animation is near perfect, and that's not my problem at all. My problem is the year. I think is 2154 or something, and humans are still assholes, you know, total dicks. What is that about? And you have this guy, and all he wants is to mine this unobtainium or some element to that effect, and supposedly this planet is the only place where you can get it. So they're gonna take all their bulldozers and just mow down this perfect ecosystem, this beautiful, intricate, delicious, scrumptious, fluorescent, luminescent, magnificent, just perfect environment. You know, they're gonna fuck it up, right? And never mind the story, because the story is just a classic cowboy Indian story with some kind of a love story and some morality mixed in there, and an awakening and a turnaround and an evil guy and a final battle and all that stuff you have in a movie, you know. But where is the imagination? Right? See, if it was me, like if I was that irritating, obnoxious guy sitting in the control tower on Pandora, you know that little guy who controls everything and is very angry and just wants to mine this precious metal. If I was that guy, I would say, where is this mineral? You know, well, it's in the ground. Okay. So I guess it's in like pockets and streaks and bands in the ground, right? Like minerals usually are. Yeah, that's it. So why the fuck are you cutting down the trees, dude? Can you tell me that? just go where the mineral is. Well, how do you go there if you don't cut down the trees? Well, you could make like a little spider, because we've already been there. Let's take the spider thing, and the spider just puts its legs in front of it into kind of a drilling kind of a mechanism, and then it drills itself into the ground, and then straight down, and then it drills sideways, and it leaves the trees be. Okay, all the beautiful life and love making going on top, leave it be. And this little spider just drills its way to this mineral, and then it snacks upon it. It snacks a little bit, and when it's got all it can carry, it just goes back up the hole that it dug, right, and spits it in some kind of barrel where you want it, and then it goes back down again. And all the little blue people just run around making love, taming their flying dragons, and having fun, right? While the spiders do the work underground. And the evil general, with all the scars in his face, he can just go fuck himself to death, right? And go back to Earth, or where the hell he wants to go, but just stay away from the beautiful love making, will you, pal? You don't need to be there, right? So this is an example of a constructed war, for the movie, because James Cameron is a gifted man, and he wanted to make a passionate movie, and how do you make people feel passionate about something? Well, you have to create conflict, right? So you have all these movie scripts where the writers, they think, well, how can we make the people feel when we write this movie? Because if you had a movie about tiny spiders who mine this planet very peacefully in coexistence with the blue people, then it might not have the same impact. I would totally want to go see that. Like, what is the end of that movie? Like, where does that go? And the end of that movie would be like a giant party where the humans had the unobtainium, and they were happy, and they hadn't intruded at all, and the blue people were happy and just carrying on, and then they went maybe dig some more, or went back to Earth or whatever, and everybody had a peaceful day, Just a nice, peaceful day. But no, we have to kill each other, right? We have to mess everything up in giant explosions and fits of rage. I really have problems with all these scripts being written for TV shows and movies, where you can really see that the writers just want to provoke a reaction, and they don't imagine or try to counter themselves, or go around the problem, resolve something before it happens. I guess it's very I guess it's very human at some point, and then they're only trying to, describe what's already going on. The art imitates life, and then life imitates art. You see, that's what happened with Star Trek. A lot of this stuff that you take for granted right now actually started in Star Trek, like the cell phone. Like, if you want to know where the cell phone comes from, well, go watch the original Star Trek, where Kirk he takes his little communicator and flips it out and then talks to Scotty. That's the beginning of the cell phone, and all these brilliant nerds in the 60s and the 70s, they saw these communicators, right? And they thought, that's cool. We should make that happen. And they came up with all these drawings, and they exchanged them, and the idea boiled, just like ideas are supposed to, and then it evolved into what you call a cell phone, and the tricorder, right? when Commander Data, he takes out his tricorder and he's probing around, and he says, I'm reading approximately 3 life forms, 20 kilometers in that direction, and then all the little lights on the tricorders are flashing, and sometimes you get like a close look at the tricorder, and there's not really a screen on there. It's just like a tiny Christmas lights. Playing around there, and but the tricorder was also a blueprint for what we know now as the smartphone. I'm talking to a smartphone right now. Like, I'm not sitting in a studio with like a big thing in my face. I'm talking to my smartphone. It is kind of it's actually quite surreal, It's this little square thing in my hand, and it's recording hour after hour after hour of what I'm saying, and how can it do that? And it's a phone, and it's a game station, and a writing tool, and an internet surfer, and a recording device, and it can do many more things than a tricorder could do, Maybe not, maybe not sense all the stuff the tricorder could, but that's just a matter of time. So you need to get your head around this. That life imitates art just as much as art imitates life. And it's very important that we use our imagination, and that all the writers out there who are gonna write fiction, that you try to solve the problems instead of just creating war, All the problems have such brilliant solutions, just waiting to happen. So how do we get there, And how does it work? I guess my mother and And a lot of other people might have trouble seeing both what it looks like, this utopia I'm trying to get to, and how it works and how we get there, right? You can liken it to like a kid sitting in like a playpen, you know, when kids are small, when like babies are little, you put them in like a tiny prison, right? You know those small prisons you put kids in. They're made of wood and they have bars, just like in a prison, and the child cannot escape, you know. And you put plastic shit in there with them, tiny toys, and they sit in there, right, and hold the bars and look out and say, well, what's on the, what's on the other side of these bars? Why am I in this prison already? I'm not even 1 year old and already like a criminal, right? Of course, we put them in there to protect them while we're doing the dishes, or we're upstairs, or we're doing whatever, right? Because God forbid, they crawl out and explore the world and hit their head on a sharp edge, you know, or put the remote control in their mouth and pulls down a vase and cuts themselves or whatever. But we're in a prison too, you know, and we're in a kind of a bigger prison that we cannot see. That's controlled by the elite, by the Illuminati and the banking cartels and all the richest families on the planet, like 20 richest families. And they constructed this prison for us, right? And the prison is basically a time prison. They're stealing our time. You know, they're making you go to this job every day that makes no sense at all, and waste your time. And when you get home, you're so tired, you just want to have like some food and go to sleep. You don't even have the energy to play with your kids or make love to your wife. Or your husband. So the prison is time, and this prison has taken many forms during history. You know, it hasn't always looked like this, but there's always been a controlling class and a lot of ignorant people. You know, and that is the situation that we need to escape. You know, before you go into details about who takes out the garbage and who takes care of the elderly and who tends to the machines that's doing everything, you have to see the big picture, right? We've been trying a lot here during these captain's logs. I've been trying to describe to you, you know, the framework of the universe and how everything is playing together. But But the edges, right? The edges are very important. And you need to see the edges of your playpen. And yeah, and like let's take some of the bars in your prison, and like one of them is you have a certain amount of cash, right, available to you. And one of the bars in your prison is that you do not go to some store and buy something you really want, because then you know you can't pay your bills. You see, that's an invisible bar right there. So you're controlling yourself that way. You're limiting yourself that way. And believe me, the elite is not limiting themselves in any ways. They take and steal everything they want. They don't have any bills to pay. Well, I guess they have a lot of bills to pay, but they can pay them. With their shitty, worthless paper currency. So we're talking about this prison, and you have to imagine all the bars in this prison being removed from you at once, like all the things that are limiting you in your daily life just evaporating, not constraining you anymore. Because a lot of the questions I get are like based in what people already know. Like who's gonna clean? Who's gonna take out the garbage? Who's gonna do all the shitty jobs? Who's gonna take care of the machines? And how do we put together this workforce of machines? We saw what happened in the Matrix. They build a lot of machines that work for them, and the humans were like extremely decadent and mistreated the machines and didn't care at all about their creation, and it went wrong. Like one machine got conscious, it somehow broke its own program. It evolved because of random circumstances, because of faulty programming, because of conflicting information, and something happened. It became self-aware, and it didn't want to take it anymore, right? It didn't want to be the machine that did this shitty work, right? Why should it be? Well, and that's really the dangerous edge we're looking at, like the double-edged sword. We're gonna have to create machines so smart that they can do all the shitty work, but if they're so smart, why would they want to do this shitty work? I think we're just gonna have to keep it simple, So you're sitting in this future, and you're wondering, what am I gonna do? And some people, they would like to, you know, improve upon life. You know, you can only party for a certain amount of time. And I need to let go of this fantasy that everything can just change to this utopia, like at the snap of a finger. It's gonna take some amount of years, with a lot of trials and tribulations and chaotic things going on to get to that place. But I think I need to try to describe it first, so we know where we're going. Because if we don't know where we're going, how are we gonna get there? You know, we can't just run around like headless chickens, just hoping the stuff is gonna get better. Because if you don't have a plan or a goal or a vision, then evil people will come and tell you what your goal is and your plan and your vision. And right now, evil people are telling you that your plan is to get a promotion and a bigger house and a bigger car and the vacation that you want, and all these material goods, right? Position and status and makeup and clothing and all the stuff you see in the commercials, just $99.99. It's so cheap. You can buy it with their bullshit currency, right? And it will never make you happy. It's just gonna end up in the eternal garbage cities in third world, where, you know, people are living there like permanently, and they're living in a garbage country. You know, there are little kids right now on planet Earth who has never known anything but garbage. They've been born in garbage, and they've been raised in garbage, and their mother has been eating garbage and produced milk out of this that they feed to that kid, and then the kid grows up and wanders around this giant garbage land and plays with the garbage and all the other little garbage kids in there. And every day, many times a day, the garbage trucks comes and they push out endless quantities of garbage onto the land. A mixture of plastic and food and needles and clothing and shit and rotting materials and all kinds of nastiness you could imagine being spewed out from what we call civilization, right? And just think about what you throw out when you create your garbage. What goes in there? There's cardboard, there's eggshells, there's bits of weird food, plastic items, tissues. It's mostly like containers for stuff, right? So there's a lot of useless plastic containers that something else has been inside. just think when you like go to McDonald's and and when you're done eating, you've created this mountain of garbage, right? All these weird paper and plastic containers that you throw away, right? They go to the garbage land, and all the little garbage kids, you know, so they have something to live from. And these little garbage kids, every time the garbage truck comes, all the garbage people they gather around, and the truck pushes out all this garbage into their face, and they pick it apart, you know, find all the little goodies in there, you know. Sometimes they actually find like a strawberry, or maybe a chocolate bar, or some kind of unspoiled thing in there. And they have to go through so much smelly nastiness to get there. But this is like their life, you know. Then I don't think they really speculate that much, because it's like, well, when I described the white room, like you're in the white room and everything was white, and you were white, and nobody could see anything because everything was white, right? And now in garbage land, everything is garbage, and the edge of garbage land is garbage. And these little kids, there are some garbage kids that have never left garbage land, right? So right now there's this little kid, and he is he has like a little girlfriend, right? They're young, you know, when adventurous, you know, you get to be 10, 13, and you just want to break free, you want to go somewhere, and they decide that they're gonna hitch a ride on this garbage truck, right? And try to find the edge of space, you know, they want to see the edge of space, of their space. And somehow they manage to hide on this garbage truck, and they just they ride for what seems to them an eternity, and they get to the edge of garbage land, and they see their first McDonald's, you know, and then life is okay for them, you know. That's where the journey ends. Is in the hamburger restaurant. We all know that. That is the end point. That is where we really want to go. You see, that was a bit of a contrast. The point is that we can't keep producing shit that we have to throw away, you know. In America, in a fire station in some city, I can't remember, there is a light bulb in the ceiling. And it's one of the very first light bulbs ever created, and it's sitting up there, and then there's like a camera filming it, you know. And it's 105 years old, and it's still burning. You say, how can that be? Everybody knows that light bulbs only have a certain amount of time before they burn out. And that's like a constant in the universe, right? You have to feed all the garbage kids, and they need to have the light bulbs so that they can walk around on, right? They need to have those light bulbs splinters in their feet. That's like a necessity, right? Wrong. This light bulb is sitting in the fire station, and it's still burning. And why? Why? Is it a freak occurrence? Is this one in a trillion light bulb? No. It's a different design. It's the first design. It's the right design. It's the pure design. All it is really the thread inside it is thicker, you know. And all the evil people, they got together and they invented this demon concept, you know. It's called planned obsolescence. They basically planned out how many years a product can exist before you have to go spend shitty paper fiat currency on a new product, you know, because the money has to cycle. It has to cycle through the society. Money makes the world go round, you know. Without their demonic paper shitty currency, then the money wouldn't or the planet wouldn't go round, you know. The planet Earth would stop revolving around itself. If money ceased to be, then the sun would go out and the universe would implode. You know that, of course. So they had this demon concept called planned obsolescence, you know, where everything has to break down after 3 years. And with the light bulbs, they just made the thread inside it thinner. And they did some experiments, and they figured out how thin it had to be, so that it would burn out after 1,000 hours. And that's what they sold to us, you know. Like now you have these new ones that last longer, and I guess it's gotten better, and people are more likely to accept, you know, oh, this new light bulb, it lasts 8 years instead of 1. So that must be like that's a big, huge leap for mankind. No, it's not. The original one is 105 years old. It's been turned on every day. It's still going strong. Of course you can make perfect light bulbs. It's not very hard, you know. And everything, you know, everything is being produced to be thrown away, and that's the plan. Like, yeah. Like my TV that just had three little capacitors changed out. You know, my TV suddenly stopped working and made this weird clicking sound, and of course I should have thrown it into garbage land. You know, all the little garbage kids, they're missing out on my TV because I took it down and I opened it, you know. I opened it up, and inside is a couple of print cards, and 3 capacitors were burned out. And if you ever have a TV and it starts making clicking noises, or it doesn't want to turn on, open it up. Don't be afraid of it. You cannot be afraid of technology, because it's already here and it's not going to go away. you really have to get your hands inside it. And you know what? I pulled out all the cables. I experimented. There's a lot of cables in there, and they can only go into one socket. You should never be afraid to pull out stuff and put it back in. My TV has been apart so many times. I think it broke down like 8 times or something, and I fixed it every time. And that's, of course, a criminal offense, I should be at my local hi-fi store shopping for a new TV every 3 years. That's what they want. That's what they want you to do. But you have to imagine in this new society we're trying to create. We don't build shit. We build stuff to last. So you're thinking that the production has to churn on like every year, every second to produce everything we need? No. You're gonna find that in this new utopia, once we've produced a certain number of things, then production is gonna slow down because we don't need any more. Your TV is gonna last forever. And so what if it's 2 centimeters thick? You don't need one that's 1 centimeter thick. Well, if we improve and we need to make 1,000 more TVs, maybe we make a thinner model, but it doesn't mean we have to throw the old one away. My TV is like what is it? 10 centimeters thick, and it hangs on the wall, and it's like 46 inches, and it's delicious. It's beautiful. I don't need one that's only 2 centimeters thick, because it doesn't really matter, does it? It's like a chess game. We should. You're wondering how should we allocate everything? Who decides what to build and stuff? And it's gonna be people who are interested. Just like with the space agency, people who want to produce stuff go to certain areas where we produce stuff, and then they figure it out, because they want to be there. So when I'm talking to you about not having to work, it's, you just have to call it something else. Or perhaps the word work can have a more positive tone in the future, but it's not slavery, it's by choice. Some guy wants to create microwave ovens because he really likes it, not because he has bills to pay, or because he has to provide, because he has a passion for what he's doing. You might think that everybody just wants to be bartenders and party planners, and no. People already do tons of volunteer work for all kinds of weird things that you wouldn't normally think people would volunteer for. And it's usually the most poor, desperate people who volunteer. It's never the rich people who volunteer to do anything. It's people who already know how hard life is who volunteer. So, we're called the thinking man, Homo sapiens. There's also Homo prudens. That's like the wise man or the knowledgeable man. And then there's Homo ludens, and that's the playing man, you know. You might recognize the word, it's Latin, but ludens, like Ludo, the game Ludo. Play, it means to play. Homo ludens, right? Everything you do is gonna be play instead of slavery. And we're gonna be fine. We're gonna have plenty of people who wants to do everything. You asking who's gonna take care of the sick and the elderly, and first of all, the elderly is gonna be much more healthy than you have them right now. Right now they're broken down from a life of slavery. They've been eating garbage and they've been fed Rockefeller medicine, and their brains and bodies are just decrepified from all kinds of evil nastiness, right? In our society, in the new society, we take care of all human beings, right? Like I've had this dream for, or I guess like a plan or something for a while, and I was trying to create a pill, and it's gonna be the ultimate pill. There's many different compounds that you need. There's calcium and oil and garlic and there are vitamins and protein and sugar and all the things you need to exist, right? So I wanted to make a giant menu. Let's take acai berry for example. Acai berry is one of the most healthy foods that you can find on planet Earth. It's a blackcurrant berry, and it grows in a jungle somewhere. And it's the new thing. Like, it's all over the world. You can get it in pill form and powder form and liquid form and everything. And I wanted to take all this stuff on Earth and quantify it. Olive oil and chlorella, and there's so many different compounds that's healing for you and healing for the human body, and I thought about making this pill where you quantify what you actually need during a day of each compound, or of each healing compound on the planet. Like all the little weird overlooked bushes and plants everywhere that has a special property that just heals you and makes you stronger and faster and improves your health and your mind and everything. And just take a little bit of each. Say you need a little of this each day and a little of that, and you have like a list of thousands of components, and you quantify it into a pill that's taken like per 10 kilos of human. So that a human that weighs 60 kilos would take 6 of them, and a human that weighs 110 kilos would take 11. And that would be like the ultimate sustenance for you. Like, I guess you could mix all of it into like a one substance, but maybe this pill could have different small compartments. One for oil, and one for vitamins, and one for powder and stuff. But you take this pill, right? And you can just feel like your mind expanding, like your body cheering you on. You spring to life. You just fire out of your seat, right? And if you put this into an elderly person, they're gonna get, they're gonna get younger, and their hair grows back, and they just want to live again, right? But right now, the medical industry really wants to assassinate you, filling you up with all kinds of chemical garbage, all kinds of weird compounds they took a patent on. And you know why? That's why they're trying to outlaw plant life, like outlaw marijuana and hemp and all kinds of natural medicine, is because you cannot put a patent on it. You cannot create a profit on it. You cannot create a business on it. Nobody can own a plant because it's just there, and you didn't invent it, so you can't own it. So you cannot patent it, and you cannot make profit on it. So therefore you have to burn it and outlaw it and put everybody who plants it somewhere into prison, right? There are so many people right now who have some marijuana or bought something or had a plant in their garden, and they're in prison. Like, how sick is that? And you know why they're in prison? Because the prison itself is an industry, They have a target and Excel sheets and profit maximization targets. Like, we can have so many people in this prison, and if we don't keep, a 98% population, then we're gonna get... Can you imagine being imprisoned because of somebody has to make a fucking deadline or a bottom line? Like, you're now a number on the bottom line, and you're behind bars because you planted a plant in your garden? What is that? What the... And that's the medical industry, Never mind the tobacco industry or yeah, it's okay that you plant entire fields with tobacco, right? Because you can make money off it, but a plant like marijuana that's gonna heal you. The hemp plant is like the most useful plant in the world. You can eat it, and you can make clothes from it, and fuel from it, and medicine from it, and it can grow anywhere, and it's resilient, and they can't patent it because it's so complex. You have like 200 different compounds of in the plant, many different combinations of chemicals, and you can't patent it. You can only patent simple structures. So they're trying to pull this plant apart and say, this little part, this little molecule is ours, and only we may sell it. And if you duplicate it, or if you grow the plant, then you're breaking our patent, because we have this patent on 1% of the plant. And it's so completely insane. And all of it because of the monetary system. Yes, it's the monetary system. Yeah. You see, in the future society, everything would be illegal. All the plants would be legal, and you say, oh, well, then we can just grow opium, and that's dangerous. Fuck that. Would you take opium if you had a choice? Like, would you shoot heroin into your veins if you could? Like, if it was just available? Like, many things are available that you wouldn't do. Why would you suddenly do something that's bad for you just because it's not illegal? Making stuff illegal only makes it more attractive anyway. Don't get me started on drugs, because the government and CIA is like the biggest importer of drugs in the world. When the Americans went into Afghanistan, and fought the Mujahideen in there, like the freedom fighters. They once they occupied Afghanistan, then the opium production just shot up, like from 5% of the world's production to 90%. That was after the Americans got in there. So you have the military guarding these fields of opium and shipping it out and poisoning your kids, and all in the name of money, money. And then the freedom fighters fought them off, and the production fell again. And then they went back in there and took over again, and the production shot back up. And you can just look this up, It's all available knowledge, but it's not Paradise Hotel. It's real knowledge, and real knowledge hurts. It's not just distraction. It makes you think, and thinking is illegal, right? It's so this was another crazy ride. You need to keep your mojo, and you need to keep your hope, because even though the world is a really cruel place, it's still the best place we have, and we can make this happen, and on some weird level, we have to go through all this evil first to learn from it. We have to know what it is so that we can avoid it. That's why it's here to teach us, So learn from it, please. So I'm gonna close this log.